Hey, holy crap.
You'll be all right.
My head hurts.
You will need a lab notebook. You should get a lab notebook.
I want a lab.
Sorry.
I want a cool one.
The black ones are the cool ones.
The black ones are the cool ones.
No one else has it. Can I click record?
It's already recording.
Well,
Hey,
oh, that's it? Yeah, sure.
you are being recorded. Grab a notebook, have a seat.
That was cool.
Oh, I thought it was falling. It's not falling.
It is moving.
Purple.
I thought it was like tilting forward.
I want this one. This one looks pretty legit now.
Oh, yeah. I know. I read the message.
This is really weird, Mr. Schneider. I will admit that.
Do we need a computer? Yes.
No, not yet. P. Daly, you need a lab notebook?
What do we need?
Lab notebook.
Call him the orange one. Do we need our computers?
Not yet. Color choices are dwindling.
Obi! I hate mood swings.
You do not need a computer today.
Not at all? Not the second part.
Yeah, I'm sitting in the truck now. Mr. Schneider.
I need
So,
a pen.
I got a concussion on Monday in practice. And last night, I was just laying in my bed, and all of a sudden, I just started crying. And I had no idea why I was crying. I started randomly crying.
Were you dreaming about clowns or something?
No, but I was awake.
You were awake.
I was awake, and I just started crying.
Ladies, before you sit, grab a lab notebook.
A new one? I was going to say, where? I don't think I have my old one. I don't want this one.
How are you going to be done next
Offer him a Coke.
Huh?
Offer him a Coke. Maybe he'll trade.
A what?
A Coke?
A Coke? You want a Coke? I'll give you mine, too. Alright. Can you try?
See?
Can I go to the bathroom?
You have to be really fast because we're going to go.
Does that mean we need something to write with? Oh,
I don't know. What do you think? Class, you might have to write?
Mr. Schneider, I'm going to be gone for your class next week, Thursday. And possibly Tuesday.
And like 4 more times after that?
Yeah. Yeah. Approximately. Well, for this semester, anyways. I should do an essay first.
No.
50,000 times.
God, Haley!
Kidding, Haley.
No, because he was ready to get color.
It's a hard game, so.
Yeah, you're the best mission here.
You know what? I don't even care.
Dude, Parker, how did you get that right order? That's awesome.
Nope, they don't bounce.
No, Jamin, that's mine. That's mine.
Oh.
Thanks, Jamin.
Why is there cookie?
It's not enough for that.
It's a winner. I don't care.
Good. Mr. Schneider, you should get paid for advice.
Do we have air?
I'll bring you like 3 Cokes.
10,
3
15?
Make it 4.
Is 15 the right number of kids?
Parker, shake on it. Shake on it.
Give me.
No, just the bottom. I can't afford liter bottle.
Okay, fine then.
Are we sitting?
No, Paige is trading Parker.
I'm pretty sure the liter bottles are 2 for 3.
Okay. 15 is the right number. Everybody has a lab notebook?
Yeah.
Really cool one.
Does Jamie need one?
What do you think?
Yes. Go grab one of these from that.
Schneider.
You can have whichever one, right here.
That one.
You can have whichever one of these you want. Black, white, or yellow? You want black one? Black, white, or yellow? You want the yellow? Okay, there you go. Alright. On the front of your lab notebook, you should write what class this is, what school you go to, and your name. What class is this?
Biology.
Nope, not quite.
Page right up on the board. Right across the board. Yeah, please. Thank you. And the school. And the school, so we don't misspell it.
What's the name of this class?
English biology.
Bio-English. Yep.
I don't know how to spell that.
You might want to figure it out. You're a sophomore now. Yo. You're being recorded. You'll probably be recorded a lot this year. There will probably also be a math teacher from Ohio in our class virtually on the computer. Her name is Heather Kellert, and she's working on a PhD in math from The Ohio State University,
The Ohio State University.
which is right across the street from the building that she works in at the Pass Foundation. She's a Buckeye.
Buckeyes are pretty good.
Yeah.
I like the Buckeyes.
When you open your lab notebook, you should put in your contact information. And that's everything anybody could ever need to get it back to you. Your name, your grade. You should also include anything that I would need if I'm grading your lab notebooks. And I go, oh, this is going to be about a 12% unless I talk to this kid before I put it in the grade book, like right now.
So like a phone number?
So how do I get a hold of you if that happens to you and I need to talk to you right now so you don't get a bad grade in the grade book? How does a kid that finds this in the bleachers of the gym get a hold of you? Do they need an email address or do they need a phone number?
Can we have both?
You decide.
Can we put some of this in with like tonight? Because I don't know my phone number.
I don't know. You decide.
Phone on you? No. I got your phone number. Oh.
If I'm sitting in my lazy boy and I can't get a hold of you, then I can't get a hold of you and the grade goes in the grade book.
Can I use my phone?
Yeah.
It has a lot of 5s and 3s in it, I know that.
And what do we do in a lab notebook after that?
Tonight.
What's the very first thing after your identifying information is? Table of contents. Is a red pen okay, Jamin? There's a red one in here.
Are those your guys' new emails?
This is a red one. I have a blue one and a black one in my bag. Red's okay? All right.
Mrs. Schneider still emails off her K1 or her.
I can still get emails off of that one too, but I don't know how long. I don't know for how long I will.
Because I emailed Mrs. Schneider the other
Yeah.
day on that one. On the first page.
My K-12 still works if you're somewhere and you don't have that one.
So can I put those in my phone real quick?
Yes. If you want to put those in your phone, go for it. That's a good thing to have. Most of you probably have that in your phone from last year.
I have yours.
I have your phone number. I hope. This was the first page of table of contents.
The next page is table of contents.
Can I just take a picture of it?
Sure. You can create a contact later when you feel like it.
Oh, they need to find you. There we go. Chris, everyone in this school knows you.
What if I leave it in the gym and somebody else finds it? Not the spirit.
Like, they're not gonna do anything. You don't know that. Yeah. They have a phone number, they're just gonna call you. I mean, it's just
Yeah, but what if they just look for me?
Yeah. I'm being.
Are we ready?
No.
We should be ready.
And then this next one.
That is the much
What are you doing for
Your table of contents might need 2 pages. So, you should have a table of contents.
Wait, do you have it on this page or this page?
Do you ever write on the left side?
No.
What goes on the left side?
What you say.
Drawings, data. Data is numbers, but you can't just put numbers over there. Your numbers always have to have a
Label.
label. Very good.
And if you have comments.
And comments from your teacher or ideas for a new experiment. Have you ever been in the middle of an experiment and go, gee, I wonder what would happen if we did this instead? That's an idea for a new experiment. That goes on the left as well. Okay? So we want your name and your phone number. Do you have a cell phone? In your locker? No? You can put mom's phone number too. Hi. Guys, this is Heather Kellert. She's in Ohio. She's the math PhD candidate that I told you about. She's going to be in our class when she's able, and she's not when she's not. Okay? She has other responsibilities. She's not just the teacher of this class. She's actually a free teacher of this class, and she's stepping in here to figure me and Mary out, because apparently we're complicated.
Kind of.
But you know that already, right?
Yeah.
Mrs. Kellert, K-E-L-L-E-R-T. Not like Jordan and Blaze. There's a T on the end of it. Yes. And she will be chiming in and telling you stuff, and you treat her like a teacher, because she is.
Is that your last name?
In college.
Yes.
Mr. and Mrs. Steiner as well. I have a lot to learn from them. They are awesome teachers. You guys are super lucky. And it sounds like this year's going to be super fun too.
Okay.
It all kind of depends on them. If they go along with things, it'll be good. If they fight it, it'll be a mess. Last year they went along pretty good, though. They didn't fight things very much.
Yeah, we changed it.
Especially when I let Riley stand on top of the lab tables and drop footballs. They were all over that. So, if you have your table of contents, you should have a blank page after the table of contents. Turn that one to the left too, because your table of contents might take up 2 pages. You never know. Okay. Jamin, this one is table of contents. So is that one. This one right here. Do you want me to write? Do you want to do it? This one right here is, what on earth is the name of this lab?
Doesn't count as a page, does it?
Armored School Lab.
No.
What?
Let's make a really eye-catching name.
Terrace Lab. I like that name.
We have a dead teacher lab.
Yes.
That's your title. You should write in today's date on the right-hand side, and that should be in standard international date format, which is
Month, day, year.
Do you have to do it?
no. I need a number, and then a month, and then 2015.
29. Ah, 26.
26 is what it says on my calendar on my phone.
26.
Yes.
Teacher lab.
And I can help you with that one too. 26 August. And it is the year 2015. Now, are you good at listening and taking notes?
Oh, I put it on.
Okay. We're going to have some things. I'm going to ask the kids to do stuff, and if you don't understand, you tell me. Okay? And I'll explain it again for you. And you can also ask the other kids if you don't understand. All right? And I want you to do everything everybody else does. Ready?
Yes. No.
What's the most important thing in science?
Write stuff down.
Before you can write stuff down, you have to.
Experiment.
Before you can even do an experiment. Oh, we slipped right into the design cycle already. Nice job, Paige.
Actually, it was Erica.
Erica gave it to her, and you just said it louder. Okay?
And I beat her down.
Got to say things louder if you want credit. Okay? That's awesome, but that's not it.
We have to know what we're talking about.
What's this stuff?
We have to get tape.
Yellow stuff.
So we probably shouldn't pass that.
What kind of tape?
Sheriff, do not line cross.
Hey, go back to first grade. What is this?
Crime scene tape.
Crime scene tape. There we go. If it's crime scene tape, what do you suppose is on the other side of it? And what's the name of the lab? What's the most important thing in science? Observations. Very good. If you don't figure out, you can't possibly figure out what's going on if you don't see all of it, right? If you only see part of it, it's like you walk in the middle of an argument between your friends. One of them's making lots of sense, the other one doesn't make any sense. And then you hear all of it, and then maybe it flip-flops. Right? You've done that 1,000 times.
Can we poke at that teacher?
No, you can't cross the crime scene tape.
Oh, yeah?
You need to imagine, play pretend with me, you are the first on the scene of a crime. First thing cops do is
Get rid of people.
see if everybody's safe, right? Find out if everybody's alive or needs an ambulance or still a bad guy there with a gun or a knife or whatever. And then,
They investigate witnesses.
before they start investigating, they have to protect the scene. They have to put the crime scene tape up, keep everybody else out. And then they,
Investigate witnesses.
and your investigation starts with
Witnesses.
Things looking at the crime scene.
observations, yes. Is there a nuclear bomb on the site?
Yes.
Probably.
You might want to know that before you start walking around talking to the neighbors. Spend 5 hours interviewing people, right? So, I want you, grab your lab notebooks and your pens. Nobody's writing in pencil, right? You remember that from last year? Always pens, no pencils. What do you do when you screw up?
Scribble it out.
Cross that
Cross
one.
a line through it.
One line through it, move on. How many lines do you leave in between each line?
One.
You leave a blank line, you're double spacing. Because you got a free notebook, right?
Yeah.
All right,
There it goes.
go do your observations.
I can do that.
No talking, no copying.
Yeah, makes sense.
All on your own. Do your observations.
Dang, how long can I be back here?
I got it.
You got stoves in here. Looks like she's doing that.
Yeah.
She's like,
Observations. Write them down. What do you see? And I'm probably going to put a timer on this. Hunter, would you turn Mrs. Keller around? Or actually, just hand it to me.
Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, there's a dead body down there.
Yes, freak out first, take notes second. Because freaking out is always helpful. Where can I put her? Is that tipped right? You have 3 more minutes to get all your observations done. That's a good guess at what happened. Really? That's freaky. I hate it when dead people move.
Is he stupid? Yeah. She's dead, but she's not dead.
Did I say let's pretend? Okay. "30 seconds.
So I'm like cops.
At this moment you are.
Now you're arrested.
Very good. I wouldn't have thought of that one.
No wonder she played him. It wasn't.
So the cup of coffee count as the crime scene?
Probably not. It's on the other side. I think I moved it after you came in the room. And what did I just do?
You interfered with the parking.
How did I do that?
You took pictures.
Documented
That wasn't
the
a
crime
part.
scene. Yeah, see, it was never across my head. If anything, Paige and Hunter have done more damage.
Yes. I just took a picture. Do you suppose the first cop on the scene would take some pictures before he goes running through and,
Yes.
and doing all kinds of stuff?
I thought they would start a job for that. No, the cops do.
I know what happened here.
Do they have forensic photographers?
Yeah.
Is that a real thing in a big city?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who do you suppose does that in Armour, South Dakota?
The cops.
How many cops are there in Armour, South Dakota?
4.
4.
It's either 3 or 4, right?
Gene. And then, what's the substitute one?
I don't know.
From
Jason
Wagner.
something.
Oh, yeah.
Jason Sudeikis.
So 5.
All I know is he took
So
the
4 and a
out
half.
there.
And 2 of them are part-time?
So 5. Who's the other part? In our
So, there's less than half a dozen. So who do you think takes pictures?
Brandon.
the first one there.
No, Brandon.
I would bet if it's important, and there's stuff laying on the ground, and we live in South Dakota, right? What's the one thing everybody knows about South Dakota?
It's windy.
Yeah, because Nebraska sucks and North Dakota blows,
Exactly.
right? So it's windy in South Dakota. So, you know, papers on the ground and stuff like that, you think they snap a bunch of pictures right away so that they can, okay, now I'm going to go grab them and keep them and crap like that?
Yeah.
Do you think they leave stuff on the road forever and ever? Or do you think they snap pictures and then they catalog it and move it off the road and let traffic keep going?
Catalog it and move it off the road.
So, do you need to do that?
We need those little like bendy cards that say like 5 and 1.
Yep. Yep. We need the markers, evidence markers. But you've got all your observations, right?
Yes.
And what do we do after we observe?
Put them together to see if anybody's observed anything different.
Alrighty then. So we should have a little discussion.
Yes.
You should talk to the
She's
people next to you. We should let her off the
Oh, it
hook.
must have just been
Yeah.
a concussion.
You can talk to the people next to you. Their arms are sore, I'll bet. That's kind of an awkward position.
Where did she have her, how did she have your arms?
You should know. You
Well, why don't you know how she had her arms? I mentioned taking a picture, and none of you got out your phone and took a picture.
I drew a picture. Because my phone's over there.
Nice job. We didn't have one person draw a picture. That's always a good idea. If you build a lever for one of your projects, for a lab, should you draw how you put the lever together
Yeah.
so that other people can copy you? The big deal with science is it has to be
Repeatable.
replicatable. Very good. Some of you learned some stuff and actually might have remembered it. Holy cow.
I tried to forget.
I'm almost impressed. A couple more of those, I will be impressed. So, talk to the people next to you. Compare yours to theirs. How many things did you get? How many things did they get? Yeah, you got 3 things. So, you should get over here with Daniel and bring this and talk to Daniel.
There's 2 vials next to it. 2 vials on it.
Okay, and they wrote down all that stuff up there. Do you think that might be important? Do you think maybe she ate some of that and it's bad for you and it killed her? Could be, right? We don't know what's in there yet. If you're doing science stuff, should you have pop and chips with your science stuff? No, that's probably bad. What if she got some of that white stuff on her fingers and then she eats the chips? See the white stuff in the jars over here? What if she got some of that on her fingers and then she ate some chips and got the white stuff in her mouth? That could have killed her, right? Yeah, that's what all the other kids are looking at. That's what Daniel was talking about when he came over.
He was going down to kill some
Where's she at?
I didn't see.
2 minutes?
The devil is in the details, son.
Do you want to? Yeah, go ahead. You can write more stuff in there. Oh, I don't know if you want Daniel to write. Maybe you should write.
I don't know how to write. I'm messy, see?
Oh, Daniel scribbles. He doesn't write very good.
Hey, I take things
Yes.
I didn't say you take bad notes. I said you scribble. There's a difference.
You're supposed to scribble. You're supposed to be able to take in.
You have 1 minute left. Your job is to know everything. You have 1 minute left.
What mixes with water that explodes?
Which, like, if she was to
Yeah, but-
in there.
That explodes water.
It explodes a lot.
Vinegar, you mix baking soda, gas is the best.
That's a chemical reaction.
That still explodes.
Riley, tell me what you've observed though that leads you to believe that there was an explosion of some sort.
The chair was tipped over, you were laying funny.
Are there burn marks anywhere?
Yeah, but
Okay,
if it
time
were
out.
exploded-
Time out. Jamin, why is that chair tipped over? Did you hear him? Say it again.
Fall.
Did she climb on the chair and fall? Or did we have an explosion that knocked everything over?
Well, if it were exploded,
Then
she
them
would
one.
have fallen
Oh.
that way.
Maybe somebody pushed her.
Or was I pushed?
Is there anything else you could have observed that would have indicated that I fell?
Your shoe was.
Because the bottles aren't
Shoe was
broken.
untied.
Ooh, nice job.
Didn't even
Oh.
Yeah.
Good job.
If there had been explosion vials, we would be
Yep, you did good.
Broken glass, maybe?
And plus, if she would
Well, they're talking about maybe somebody pushed her. Maybe she didn't fall, maybe somebody pushed her.
maybe the explosion was.
And then
we're gonna make you use
she
the right
didn't have her
terminology
shoes
for
tied.
glassware.
One of her
It's
shoes
not a
was
vial.
untied, so maybe
It's
she
a
tripped.
container.
Or maybe she did fall.
It is a
Yeah, they are
container.
not a beaker. Stuff
Ooh,
with liquid in it is not a beaker. Oh, that's what I call them.
all right.
That's what they are.
It is a thing, yes. It's made out of glass.
The thing that holds
A
water.
glass bottle. It holds substances.
You're responsible to figure out what the
Toxic
glassware is called. You don't have to figure it out right this very second, but you are responsible to figure
Before
it out.
your next class starts, in that lab notebook needs to be the proper name for that glass container.
Mr. Schneider, what is it called?
Those are beakers.
Those are beakers. Those are beakers. Okay, yes.
Also, the ceramic thing that's over there.
Yeah.
I knew what it
That
was
was called.
prior, but
mallet.
I'm not sure what it is now. I can't remember what it was.
Those of you who are Harry Potter fans will be able to figure that out. It is not a mallet.
They use them in bars.
There you go. He's got it.
All right.
What did you say?
Mortar and pestle.
You're a genius.
So, we need to move on, and we need to get to,
Cooks would know what that is too. Chefs will use that in their kitchen.
You can't touch it.
I've seen it on
yeah, you don't need to add anything else if you don't want to. If you want to add more stuff, you can. Do you want to add more things?
But she's gonna go to jail because she thinks it's meth.
It's not metal. It's metal.
She's supposedly meth.
Anybody notice what color my fingernails were?
No, it's not painted.
They aren't painted.
We couldn't see because they were bad.
They're normal. I think you had a drug overdose.
I think.
Yeah, I said no.
I said she's in love with the cocoa.
They have a blue tint to them.
He was making that.
Oh, so you are welcome.
I do have to point that out.
Let me
This
squeeze
is the
her.
fourth time we've done this, and all of the kids come in automatically, and they immediately go to drugs.
Oh, meth.
And next time, you know, like
And you had some monkeys.
Yeah, you had no. That's weed.
Well,
It's
there's a
weed.
bag of chips, but we don't know if
She's probably putting her meth in there so she can transport it.
there's chips. It's like powdered sugar. She just puts some
The other question I would ask all of you is, did you stand in one location while you were observing?
No, I moved.
So I didn't know if you were moving around or not. But every time you go to a different perception, a different perspective, you get a different look, something new, you get a different idea that's going on there. And that's important.
Heather, I'm going to plug in a external microphone. You let me know if this is bad in any way.
Somebody closes it.
Can you
Or I
hear
might
me?
have been knocked out
Oh,
and then died.
Oh, I was wondering about that. And when I plug this in, it kills you. So I need a Y connector so that I can plug a speaker in as well.
What else did you observe?
All right, you're back.
What indicates to you that that's meth at all?
we don't know.
I don't know how meth
Is
is
it
meth.
meth or what?
Because I used to be a
Because that looks like flour, kind of.
And you have that stuff.
It's cornstarch, obviously, because I wrote this down. Cornstarch question.
I did. But I'm gonna.
She's making moonshine.
All right, my turn. He's doing something really good and he's doing something really bad all at the same time. He's bringing in what he thinks he knows based upon what he's seen before. That's a really good thing. You might have watched a movie where they had a meth lab set up or something like that. Those
No,
are
I think
really
his
good
dad has
factors,
to set
right?
up in the funeral home.
So here's the deal with that. So he's bringing in what he thinks he knows, but you can't always
Oh,
take that.
you can stay right there on that same page. We want to keep it all together. We want it all right
So
here.
keep that in mind. Bring in what you know. Bring to the party your past experience, but don't always assume that your one past experience is now your future and your current experience.
Yes. Every circumstance is individual, is unique, and is all by itself. It may turn out to be exactly the same thing that you saw 11 times before, but it may be completely different. It may only look the same on the surface. And you have to look below.
And why do you guys think that's Sprite in the container that is on the hot burner? Because you see Sprite here?
No, because it's bubbly.
So only Sprite bubbles.
No.
It could be boiling.
And it's open. And
So you're
there's
making
some
a logical jump.
What other things are clear and bubble
Water.
Anything
on a
can
hot
boil.
plate?
But it's not plugged
But
in.
it's not plugged
Water is clear and bubbles when it's on a hot plate,
Yeah, but you can see that it's not plugged in.
Oh, snap.
but is it cold?
Don't
But
touch it.
The light is not.
What if it got unplugged right before you walked in?
it would stop boiling after a little while.
Right, but would there still be a couple little bubbles in there?
They would also
Yeah.
be stuck on the side.
Bubbles would be stuck on the side if it was boiling.
I'm at a loss. What do you call that when it sticks to the side?
On the outside.
On the outside.
Bubbles on the inside, I don't know.
Inside station.
Like Trevor does outside.
Evaporated water sticking to the side of the pan.
Yeah, kind of.
Close enough. I'll take that answer. I'll take that.
After you get all of your observations done in science, what do we do?
Yes.
Before that?
Adjust.
We brainstorm.
Kind of. In science class, it's a little different than engineering class. And if we get out of the engineering design cycle and we go strictly with scientific method, what am I looking for? It's way at the top, but it's after gather information.
Come on, guys, take a guess. You know what's going on here.
Nope. Before we evaluate.
What are we gonna design?
You guys are in the design cycle. I need you out of there.
Young people, take a guess.
Every science book on the
You know
planet,
these answers.
probably in chapter 1, has a scientific method. You've looked at it a bunch of times.
Something in motion stays in motion.
You had it last year.
We got to this.
I know, I was there.
My head hurts. Too much sleep.
Are you thinking so?
What did he start doing that she admonished him for right away?
Getting a hypothesis.
There you go. Hypothesis. You need to hypothesize what happened here based on the facts.
Young people, how many times did I say take a guess? You know these answers.
I'm trying to get you to say hypothesis, and she's giving you the definition of hypothesis. Now, on a TV show,
Trevor killed her.
on a radio program, you will see and hear people saying, well, I have a theory about that. And every time you hear that, I want you to get as mad as I do and throw things at the screen and yell, no, you idiot, you're one person, you cannot have a theory. A scientific theory requires thousands and thousands of experiments and thousands of people to agree that it's true. The way people use theory is wrong, but people have been doing it for so long, they just pretend it's correct. And if you look up theory in the dictionary, before it says scientific theory, it says theory, something you think happened.
I have a hypothesis.
The lack of science education in the world just makes me cranky.
I'm looking at an awful lot of lab notebooks that don't have a lot of detail in them.
Oh, there's that other word we need to use a lot. Are these two powdered white things the same?
No.
How do you know?
Oh, they look different. Like
One
one
looks
sticking
like
to the side and then one different.
So one has finer grains than the other?
Yeah.
One has a little bit larger particle size than the other?
Yeah.
Are those words in there? Or something that means that?
I would go bigger than he's going, and I would say if all of this were to disappear right this very second, and you had to recreate it, could you, based upon your lab notebook itself?
Yes.
And that's what a lab notebook is for. That's what scientific observation is for. It's got to be repeatable, right, Daniel? It's got to be repeatable. And in a crime scene, the stuff goes away.
It does.
And the cops that have to solve this, the detectives, have to know. There was two different white powders. We know that because one of them had a larger particle size. Were they in the same size container?
No. Maybe that has something to do with it.
Were the containers clean or dirty? Were the containers dry or wet?
The one with the,
If they were wet, was it on the inside or the outside? Was there a liquid added to it, or was it something that splashed on it from the outside?
Can we have a closer look on the inside?
that's a really
Oh,
good,
how many of you moved
yeah.
to get a different angle on your observations? How many of you looked behind her back to see if she had something in her hand?
Is there another person there?
No, was there another person there? Because you were on a chair that was tipped over, but there was one right next to it.
Oh,
That's a really good question. He
good.
doesn't know.
Maybe the other person.
There might have been a lab partner,
Yeah, 'cause
maybe
that's why
not.
They made the mess and they just left it alone.
Yeah, and they
And
ran
then
into like.
Mrs. Schneider gets steaming mad and accidentally rocked off her chair.
She was untied. Maybe she.
I rocked.
Tried
Yes.
Who
Maybe
doesn't?
she tripped over her shoes that was
But when you're
on.
cooking meth, I mean, you're.
You must get off the mat.
I know what she was doing.
So, one more thing we need to talk about real quick before we move on a little bit. Lab safety infractions.
She didn't have any goggles on.
No goggles. Good job.
She got something in
But
her
it
eye.
was only half one.
She does
Oh,
You don't need gloves.
we gotta have an apron. She didn't have gloves, but maybe she didn't need gloves.
I don't think she should have had.
If she didn't have gloves, does that maybe mean that the chemicals she was dealing with are non-toxic?
Yes.
Maybe. Maybe she's just screwed up and should have had gloves on and she's going to die of cancer because she touched that stuff. We don't know. What else?
She had food in the lab.
She had food in the lab. That's a no-no.
How dare she?
How many of you, and I haven't heard this yet, but I heard this all 3 times that we did this over in Burke. If you have food in the lab and you get some of that white stuff on your hands and you eat a chip, do you get some of that white stuff in your mouth and die?
Yeah.
You could.
Maybe that's what happened.
Maybe, but none of you guys said that yet.
I
just did.
Everybody and their dog said that over in Burke. That was the one they couldn't get off of after they said meth.
We're still stuck on the meth.
They all started with the drugs, and then they went to, okay, you got some of that stuff in your mouth.
I think it was,
Is there
just started.
is there something in the ceramic thing?
Don't lean on me.
Is there something in the what?
Is there anything inside of that ceramic container that has a little stick thingy hanging out of it?
I don't know, I can't see.
Something. You can't see.
And these people...
Did you move so you could see?
I looked at it.
I'll go with you.
Can you see? Is there anything in it? Is it similar to the other stuff? Is it different?
It looks similar to
Or is it the same?
the bigger one.
So do we have 3 white powders or do we have 2 white powders?
They're both together.
Yes.
She's really
Or maybe it's the more fluffyish one, and then they pounded it.
Fluffy-ish one.
It's flour, Riley, by the way.
I think the opposite thing would happen, Riley.
Tampering.
Do we have 2 or 3?
I don't know. What?
You're there looking.
What do you mean 2 or 3 what?
Is there 2 or 3 white powders?
I think.
Excuse me, Daniel, good sir.
I'll get out of the
Where's
way.
the broken thing?
What happened to the other one?
I didn't see that broken thing.
I didn't even know 3 different kinds of white powder.
It looks like 3. These are cheddar bacon chips. That was fresh.
Paige, what makes you think that there's 3?
Well, because they're bigger chunks, but then you could do crush this.
And maybe that's why she had the third thing.
Fluffy.
Oh.
She's gonna add these things into...
Maybe. I would say that we at least have 3 different things.
Yeah.
2 of them may turn out to be the same, but they didn't start the same.
Yeah.
So we have to start with the premise that we have 3 things. What would happen if this all got taken down and hauled to,
Evidence?
imagine you're on one of the CSIs.
NCIS.
All this stuff leaves the crime scene, where does it go?
To the investigation lab.
Goes to a lab somewhere where they would probably be doing what?
Test.
Yeah, we could test it.
To do what?
To see what it is. To see how the crime scene went. And how the murder.
Guess what your next job is?
We're gonna test
I have
it.
a hypothesis.
First, you have to come up with 1 or more hypotheses, the plural, as to why she died. Second, you have to plan an investigation or 11 that's going to identify all of the substances on the table.
And we'll give you all a disclaimer. They're all non-toxic, so no matter what you do to them, they won't necessarily harm.
Can we taste them?
Is that proper scientific procedure?
No, I'm telling you they're not toxic, so that in case you think that you
No,
might
no, no,
want to
no,
put
no.
things together, then all.
No.
Yeah, but no, we don't get to taste.
You may not.
Because what if I wanted to know that is sugar and I want some sugar with my brownies?
What are those chips? I need
How
to
would
confirm
you-
those.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
How would you
One at a
test?
time.
How would you test, Trevor? How would you test to make sure it's sugar without tasting it?
Put it in water.
See if it dissolves.
A lot of things could be also salt.
How can you tell salt and sugar apart without tasting them?
Let's just make some cookies.
Wonder might.
How do you smell things in the science lab? You just stick your nose over the top of it and snort it in?
Yeah.
Really?
She just said it wasn't.
You just stick your nose over it and snort it?
Yeah, buddy.
No,
Smell it.
you do not do that.
You could, but
You could, but you're not going to.
How do you spell it?
you put your nose in a jar and you smell it. And be like, yes.
When you walk into your an elevator, when you walk out of your bathroom and somebody walks into the bathroom, how do you know that there's a smell in there
Oh,
yet?
you just get one big old whiff.
Oh, whiff.
Of sewer.
Parker, what are you doing right there? Do that again. What do you call that?
Smelling the
To
aromas.
fluctuate the air.
What's the term there?
Paige, what would happen if you stuck your nose halfway in there and snorted a whole bunch of air?
Don't do that, because I was like this far away. And
What
it
is
was,
that?
Very
Ammonia.
pneumonia.
No, 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 no. There's no N.
Ammonia. I want to smell some ammonia. Oh wait.
Four-letter word.
And you're close.
Sniff.
You
This is fine.
waft it.
I didn't even know that was a word.
It is a word.
Waft it.
Nope, nope. This is what you do.
See why you don't do that?
Unless you got rid of
Imagine if you'd actually snorted.
All right, you guys
If you just
go
sucked a
sit
bunch of
and
that
write
in there,
your
it can fry.
hypothesis.
It can give you a major headache.
Oh God.
So we can tamper with it.
Have a seat and hypothesize.
I'm like a headache on top of a headache now.
See? And that's just household chemicals. What if it was nasty? Because that's not even nasty.
That was
It
nasty.
follows him. Or, okay.
It follows this thing.
I don't want to see
That thing?
So we may have to play pass the fob.
past the fob. Okay. Oh, follow me. Oh, it does. Wait. No.
No.
It's mine now.
Don't make me give you a purple nurple on camera.
That would hurt.
No, it's all the same thing. Sophomores?
Do we making that new dead teacher lab thing?
No, you are still in the same lab. This is all one lab, but you could maybe draw a line across and write hypothesis in big letters or something. And then write a hypothesis or several hypotheses.
In her story, are they just the same as they are in real life? They're not dangerous or toxic?
There's nothing over here that'll hurt you.
We're telling. No, I know in real life, but I mean like.
I don't know. Test them and find out. That's your goal. You have 45 minutes and the bell's going to ring and you're going to walk out and you're done.
Okay.
You have 45 minutes to write several hypotheses, figure out how to test them, and then go test them.
So do we put that on the red or
Observations, right side. HYP, OT, HESIS, hypothesis. My guess about what happened. So, what do you think happened here, Jamie? Why did she end up on the floor? Yeah. Okay. So, we need.
Don't touch it. You can't touch it.
Do you have latex gloves?
And you are, what are you doing? You're supposed to be hypothesizing.
We're observing for
Here. That's why the class is
hypothesis.
I am that.
She climbed on the chair and fell. Yep. Okay. And then we're going to do tests on the chemicals. And then we'll be in small groups, and you can get in a group with some of the other kids. And we can figure out what that white stuff is. Okay? Hypothesis
That works thinking.
and designing tests to figure out
I already know my
what this stuff is.
hypothesis.
Yeah, well, what if you already know it? I don't want to write it down.
Heather, if you have issues with what you can see and what you can hear, and we need to take care of the computer, probably co-tap or text or something, make my phone vibrate and get a hold of me.
No, it's fine for now. I'd love to sit with a group or like at the end of a table, not so I'm like right in their faces,
Oh,
but
sure.
I'd love to hear what they're talking about.
I can just drop you into a group maybe, or
Wait, Mr. Schneider.
maybe this will work.
Yeah, just on the edge. I don't want to be too invasive.
Yeah. This has got you on the corner farthest away. And if there's no kids near here, we'll just give one of the kids the laptop and they can just take you with.
Okay, sounds
Mr.
perfect.
Schneider, we can call you that. I'm going to call you bad guy for short.
How do you know I'm a bad guy?
Because you just look like it. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
I might have been a bad guy.
Hey, you are a bad
My
guy.
hypothesis is done.
Well, then you need a test.
I already have.
How are you going to test this stuff? You need to design an experiment to test all of these substances. Identify all of the solids and all of the liquids.
Wait, I have one question. Can we take some of the powder out and use another
Yes.
liquid to test it? We
Yes.
have vinegar in the room.
Yes.
Yes, I need to.
Yes.
And I didn't even finish my sentence up here. I was just writing.
Ooh. You can't eat stuff that's in the lab.
Yeah, big stuff that's in the
Can I
lab.
test a chip?
No, they're like 3 weeks old.
No. So?
Who cares?
Ew.
They've been open.
They don't care.
Here, boy.
Yeah.
The bag does say bacon on it.
I was gonna say.
You know, like.
I can understand Trevor's issue.
What? I didn't like bacon. They look pretty tasty. Like, I see the seasoning. You didn't even see him. You were on that side the whole time.
No, I was on that side and that side.
I know, Paige. Messy with you. Just need to simmer down. Do you have any plastic cups?
Yeah.
Do you have any more of those glass thingamabobs?
Back there. Probably right side number 18.
Solid.
There you go.
I want these tiny little babies.
I'd like to meet you.
This one or.
Do you have any bar, Mr. Schneider? Dude,
How many what?
vinegar.
Yeah.
Can these count as
Already over there.
goggles or no?
Shouldn't.
You don't?
Shouldn't.
Oh, dude, I totally want these. Wait, I want the America ones.
America. Good God, is it? I need these.
That's the same thing. Dude, these don't even go around the ears.
Sophomores.
Oh,
Oh my gosh. Yes.
What about them?
Meese? Nothing like improper pluralization to make you smile.
Those are mouses.
Those are mouses, not meese.
I'm nowhere to
Aren't they mice?
Are they?
My praying.
Yeah, that's what I like the animals mice and then like the technology mouses.
How do you pluralize moose?
It's moose plural. Moose is moose.
Moose.
Cacti.
So is mouse?
Octopi.
Mouse?
Mouse pie.
Time's a wasting. You have about 30 minutes. I'm going to make you start cleaning up.
How many hypotheses do we need?
You have to figure out what all of these things are.
Can you put results
Okay.
like on this side or no?
Is that data?
I'm going with my first hypothesis.
Or is results and conclusions something that you have to write out? Like sentences and, or a table, or yeah. If you need a table, that would be data. You can flop that over on the left.
No, me and Parker are in this together.
We're all living.
You may be in groups of no more than 3.
Riley, look at my
Groups of 2 or 3.
Young people, please remember. Sophomores, my turn. Please remember that you do not experiment at the crime scene.
Oh, yes. And you may not put anything into this container because what happens as soon as you put something in here?
It's contaminated.
Yeah.
Everything, all
Nobody else can test
You
it.
need
It's
to take
contaminated.
it out.
You need to take some out and go somewhere else and test it. And who left the drawer open? That's a lab no-no.
Trevor.
If you open it, you close it.
Nuh-uh.
Riley, you're missing something. You're not quite dressed appropriately yet.
Here, Gracie, just take this one.
Don't. You're not dressed appropriately.
Gracie.
You're not. There you go.
I'm gonna go examine.
Good job, Riley.
Magnifying.
Riley is a perfect example.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, we need that.
This one's broken though.
Riley is a perfect example.
Trevor, give me one too.
Trevor, give me one too. I'm in your group.
I think we better call Mom and tell her that. She might not believe it.
I got my first one.
Gotta get all dressed up to look at things.
It's too small.
We need
Let
meters.
me.
That's too big of a
I'm gonna turn Swivl off unless you want to record.
Yeah, we could probably stop recording there.